Hey everybody, it's Matt here, and I'm here along with.
Your local mutated lobster monster here to sink all your battleships, Tristan Walter.
Bring in the dancing lobsters.
Uh,
It it's been a while since we've done a Godzilla podcast, and it's been a while since I've made that reference. Tristan, how long has it been since you've thought of the Amanda Show?
I I don't know.
I'm sorry, did you not like the Amanda Show? Are we gonna be booting you from this podcast?
Okay, I didn't say I didn't like it. It just
Okay, no, never mind. You've been spared. Anyway,
it was hit or miss for me.
you've been spared. You've been spared. So by the way, we are those guys. This is another Friday Night Movies. It's really been a while though. Like I think it's been since not even 2019. I could swear it's been since no, it has been since 2019 because of King of the Monsters.
Yeah,
But before that though, it's been a while. It's been a
right.
bit.
We were doing some chronological order, but
We were, and then, well, because we were doing it chronologically, and then stuff got in the way, life gets in the way, life finds a way, and we did a bunch of other stuff in between. It's not like we didn't do anything, but when it comes to Godzilla, we stopped at Invasion of the Astro Monster, which has like 17 different names. Then we jumped to Godzilla 2014. Oh, actually, Godzilla 1998, 2014, then King of the Monsters.
yeah, because the new ones, King of the Monsters, was coming out. It's like let's jump on this.
Yeah, why not? Like, let's talk about it because I didn't want to wait till what I assumed it was going to be Godzilla vs King Kong in February.
Right.
Now it's been moved to November. Also, we did the animated movies, the anime movies, Planet of the Monsters, City on the Edge of Battle, and the Planet Eater, when
Yeah.
those were coming out through Netflix.
Right.
So, but jumping back into the actual canon of the Shawa series of Godzilla, I gotta say I enjoyed it, and I think I needed that break because we tried to do this movie a while back, and when we tried, I don't know what it was. Maybe I was burned out on Godzilla, like in this, because we were watching like movie after movie after movie. Sometimes
Yeah.
watching the dub and the sub. This time we only checked out the sub because you only have the sub. I have both on my Blu-ray, but I was like, what am I like? We're fine. Let's just watch the sub.
Yeah.
Um, maybe if it's like really matters, like 1985 or something,
Right.
or Return of Godzilla, maybe that's different. But when it comes to some of the other ones, let's just watch the sub. And I don't know, I was disinterested. And now I think maybe having that break and getting back to it, I fell in love with the insanity of this movie. Um,
Yeah, I guess that's a decent way for me to put it too. I not fell in love, but I was like along for the ride. I'm like, all right, I'm in this. Let's go. Let's do this.
well, I think the reason why I can say fell in love, at least with the first half of the film, is because while all of it was odd, and I fully admit, because you called it, I forgot what you said, if it was insanity or wacky or insane. I forgot what term.
Yeah,
Did you say all over the place? I forgot what it was specifically you said.
I
Like through
don't remember
text.
specifically either, but
Okay, it was something through text, and I was like, "Is it really?" Because it had been so long that I remembered certain pieces of the film, but because I don't think I ever finished it to do the review with you, but I watched most of it at the time, and so watching it now, I was like, "Okay, look, this is not relatable at all, but." Whatever they're putting down, they are quote unquote, maybe logically isn't the best word, but I'm going to use it, logically telling you, okay, here's what's going on from point A to point B. You might go, this is something that doesn't happen to people, but it is something that's happening from point A to point B. I can explain the plot to you and go, look, hey, I know how it sounds, but they sold it, Hey, brother's ship crashed at sea, so mom is not feeling it. She goes
because
to a psychic who
like
basically
yeah,
says he is not dead.
right.
Brother also believes in psychic, kind of on the young side. It seems like he just needs to get a boat to get out there. Tries to win it in a dance contest. Was way
Realizes
too late.
late. goes with two people he presumably just met.
Well, no, 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 no. What happens is they're all just like, well,
Like,
this is why I liked it at
they're all
first.
friends, right?
Well, no, 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 no. They were not friends. But what I liked as no, but what I liked about it is it just felt like a general like, hey, like we're just three kids hanging out. Like he made two friends. That's nice. Then it turns into grand larceny. But what I enjoy what I enjoy about the twist early on is that at first I thought, this man is, he's homeless, he lives on his boat, and then and they crash the party.
Right.
No,
No.
it turns out that he's a thief.
Yeah.
So he was just hiding on the boat. Maybe he was never even going to use it. He was just trying to lay low.
Right.
And then the boy took them out to sea, which I don't know. At that point, I'm like, it makes sense. Now, again, is it something that all of us can say has happened to us? No, no, not one human being. I think,
Right.
not even one.
Sense as in the plot basically smacks you over the head with a club, throws you on the boat, and says, "All right, get in. We're going across the ocean. This is Godzilla versus Ebirah."
Let me tell you why I enjoyed it. I think, and I'm not even kidding here. I'm being dead serious.
Okay.
They're on the boat, right? And this is all happening, and they're like, we found the island, and then obviously, like, everything's going wrong, and I'm like, for some reason, this just feels like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure plot. Like, they're just kids who are just going on an adventure, they meet someone who's, like, a criminal, and then there's presumably Nazis trying to destroy the world in military garb on a random-ass island. Like, it was just so
I
weird.
The fact that I can't disagree with you on that.
and obviously this predates JoJo by 20 years. But I'm just what I'm trying to say though, Tristan, is that like I don't know, it just felt like this weird like frenetic energy. I think frenetic's what it was. This weird energy that I enjoyed and that I was with. It's when we get to the halfway point of the movie that we start seeing things that I'm like, all right, look, I've accepted a lot of things. Because here's the thing, right?
I accepted a lot in going into this movie.
Well, because here's the thing, right? Because here's the thing. The fact that there was a guy on the boat and he just so happens to be a criminal, that's not convenient. You could argue the skeleton key stuff is fucking convenient, sure, but just him existing...
All the locks on the paramilitary base can be opened with a skeleton key.
I mean, he's a master criminal. He's basically their Lupin.
Basically.
And I think this also predates Lupin. No, this does not predate Lupin. This was 66. Let me see.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this predates the Lupin anime.
Right.
But does it predate
the sea monster?
No, actually, this is so odd. No, because so Ebirah Horror of the Deep came out in 66. The manga came out by Monkey Punch in 67.
Well, there you go.
Huh. That's so interesting. Yeah, right? That is so interesting. Huh. Anyway, point being, though, all jokes aside, is like he's just their master thief. And so it's like, whatever, okay. Again, like, obviously the skeleton key part is like, alright, dude. But it's the fact that even though we need to have Godzilla there for it to be a Godzilla movie, and it does make sense that, after being defeated, whenever Godzilla fucks off somewhere, this is one of the places he's fucked off to.
Right. I mean, when he needs to go take a nap, he finds an island somewhere and he takes a nap.
But how convenient is it that it was this one?
Yeah, I love how they're like, do you think the other, the military organization doesn't know he's here? It's like, I mean, I would assume they don't. Otherwise, don't you think they would have done something about it? Well, maybe they would have just left him, let him sleep. That's fair, I guess.
No, not let him sleep. What they were going with, which I actually enjoyed the logic in that. It was, wait a minute, don't you think the military knows about him? And it's like, I don't think so, because if they knew about him, then they would, like, not let him sleep, but they would be like, whoa, we don't want to fucking go in that cave. We don't want to deal with this shit. Like, why would they even be on the island?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Why? You're right, though. It can come off like that, but it was more so like they would be like, yo, let's steer clear of that cave because we don't want to
Right.
awaken the beast.
Right.
Not like let him sleep, like go to sleep. More like, if we wake him up, we're all fucked.
Yeah.
So, but I think, and I talk about the film it starts breaking down in the middle half and then towards the end, because while I don't look, I understand, hey, we're not gonna really get too deep into these characters' backstories. They're made for this one movie, and then they're also, like Godzilla, going to fuck
Horror.
off.
Deep.
But
Horror from the deep.
how dare you? And so, go away. And so, I, but what I find to be odd is we see this military type organization, and we learn nothing about them. Not
Yeah.
even one iota of a something about them. How do they
Right.
even have like? The reason why I mentioned like Nazis or whatever is because like I was thinking like, oh, like are they like remnants of some evil
Right.
empire like the Nazis? Or I was wondering if they were going to, even though they wouldn't have had nukes, if they were going to go a route of, hey, these are some people that they're Japanese, they were in World War II, and they still think that the war is going on. I remember there were some stories
Yeah.
of, there's been multiple stories actually throughout the years of, men being found on different islands in Japan. I believe it
Right.
was Japan exclusive, not across the world, but in Japan, and having to be told, like, the war's over, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I'm talking about years after, not just like a few, like decades
No.
after.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so I bring that up because I was wondering if they were going to go that route. But of course, obviously you see their garb and you see the fact that they talk about nukes and yada yada. It's like, okay, they're definitely not going that route.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not saying I wanted crazy depth. It's just that it
Okay.
when I think of because when I think of crazy, evil, destroying the world organizations,
Yeah.
I
Like.
think of them from Sentai, Power Rangers, Kamen Rider. But in Godzilla, usually it's either we are the military that are trying to help and fight Godzilla, or we are evil space aliens
That are trying to either control Godzilla or destroy Godzilla.
and the Earth in the process potentially.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's why I was a little thrown off, I think, is because it was like I'm happy that they were trying to go for something different, but what it also came off as is a way to have military type tanks and whatever trying to fight Godzilla
Right.
without it actually being the Japanese military. And I'm like, I see what you guys did there.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, even though I thought it was them doing something different, it's like, no, it's still repurposing a similar plot. And I'm
Right.
like, damn it.
I got to admit though, when Godzilla actually like storms their base and is like stomping on all the buildings, I'm a sucker for like those models that they set up.
Oh no, that was hot. I am all about that life. Yes.
Yeah. I love those shots.
Yeah. No, I loved it. By the way, is that your cat?
It is.
Would you like to go get her? We'll pause.
Yeah. Belle, you're killing me. Patchy's right here in my lap.
Oh, it's Belle today.
Yeah, well, she's
Wait, what's she gonna do when she sees another cat on your lap?
she's just gonna sit on the table probably. Now Patchy's just gonna chase Belle. All right.
Okay, so yeah, so you have two cats. Wait, hold on. So you have two cats, Patchy and Belle, and we've seen Patchy on camera before on Keikaku Corner. Never seen Belle on camera. Belle's the cat that loves me,
Yes.
and Patchy is aight at best. And so what I want to say though is funny story. So I was looking up different actors who've been in this movie, and I knew that I knew that the actor who played the criminal Yoshimura, I
Right.
knew he was familiar. He was in the original Gojira,
Oh,
and he was yes.
was he he wasn't the scientist, was he?
No, no, no. He was. I think he was. It looks as if he was the romantic lead, I believe.
Oh, all right.
And then he was. So he's in that film. Then he was also in Invasion of the Astro Monster. He was astronaut K Fuji.
Right.
So let's see. I want to see in because because it's been a while, but we always talk about the fact that a bunch of actors always make cameos. Oh right, yes, he literally went to the planet with American John. Yeah, and then He was also the reporter in Mothra versus Godzilla.
Right. Oh, jeez.
I know that he's made, and he was also in a movie. I remember seeing. Wow, he was in a movie called Half Human,
Huh.
which, if this is what I remember, yes. Okay, so the reason why I remember Half Human, funnily enough, is because I've heard great things about it, but I saw it playing in oh god, in what was that bookstore called? Forbidden Planet. Which you know Forbidden Planet, right, Tristan?
As a bookstore or a?
Well, manga, anime.
Oh.
It's that one on 14th Street, Union Square, or I think it
Oh.
moved, but it was.
Oh.
Do you remember that or no?
I don't think I've been in there.
Oh, okay. I used to like it when it was much. I don't want to be a hipster about it, but it was much smaller. But then they kind of changed their vibe to very like dark and like. I
Right.
love the aesthetic of the new place, but it's all one floor,
Yeah.
I believe. And it used to be like, oh, first floor, all comic books, second floor, all manga. And it felt very like much like a tiny comic book shop.
Right.
Where now it feels like, not in what they sell, because they sell amazing stuff, but it feels like a Hot Topic vibe, which I don't hate Hot Topics. It's just one vibe to the other threw me off.
Right.
Um, but I used to buy all my manga from there when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's where I got my first like Dragon Ball volumes from. My mom would just get out of work and just buy them there. And it's so funny because she'd be like, write down what you want because I don't know what you want.
Right.
And I'll walk around and find it. And I was like, okay, thanks, Mom. And then she was like, yeah, an employee would help me. And they would like have sales and whatnot, like buy three, get one free or something.
Yeah.
So it was nice.
Nice.
Yeah. So literally when I think of Half Human, I'm like, oh right, yeah, that played in a Forbidden Planet once. Very odd combo, but yeah. Well, because they had a lot of actually. I remember before they moved, they had like a lot of like older kaiju movies, and they have kaiju merch there. Still do.
Right.
So yeah, so they're a really cool like just nerd store in general.
Oh,
But yeah, so back to the film. Yeah, I feel as if pause for 1 second. Interesting stuff. You'll like this, Tristan. The actor who played by the way, his name is Akira Takarada. He also was Nataro Daigo in Godzilla Final Wars.
huh.
So if that means something to you, Tristan,
I
he's
mean, I think I've seen bits of Final Wars, but I don't think
oh
actually like I've seen it in passing with my dad on before, but I don't know
oh
that I've actually watched the whole thing.
oh shit, he's in a deleted scene. I wish it wasn't fucking deleted in the 2014 Godzilla movie.
Oh, ha.
So get out your DVD, Tristan.
Yeah, right.
Go find that deleted scene. All right, but anyway, back to the movie itself. What was that?
Right here, right now.
Yes, right here, right now. So as I've been talking about this enough, Tristan, your thoughts on this movie? How much do they differ from mine? Did you? So you said that you enjoyed the film.
Yeah, it was. It's funny, I guess. Like you were saying, doing things differently. I guess it was interesting to see a cast of characters that weren't either policemen, reporters, or doctors, or anything like.
Military.
Yeah, anything like super important, I guess, and they were just people.
That's why it reminds me of JoJo a little bit, because like
Right.
normally with something like JoJo, and I'm not saying everything's a JoJo reference or anything like that, but if anyone doesn't know JoJo, to just be brief with it, normally the JoJos, the main characters, and even people that they travel with, they have powers and stuff like that and whatnot, but they're not like famous or they're not like in positions of power or in big like in these what's what I'm looking for. They're not like, like you said, Tristan, they're not like policemen or they're not military.
There's the Speedwagon Foundation, but that was
That's eventual. He started off as a common street thug.
true. Yes.
That's what I'm saying I love about this series is that like it's that series in particular, it's like they're just people just traveling around, again have powers and whatnot, but like they're just living
Right.
in some horrible situations. We're not going to get into that, but like they're just living. So in this case, it was nice to see just random folk getting involved in the struggle. Do you
Yeah.
think though that the turning point, or if it's already maybe been happening. I know it's been a while since we've seen the last few Godzilla movies, where Godzilla not even is turning into like this beacon of hope instead of a monstrosity, but
Yeah.
also he's being kidified.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes to both.
With yeah, I mean his the beginning of his fight with Ebirah and them, kind of jokingly tossing the rocks back and forth.
Hmm.
Not that their fight was a joke, but it's a little more silly.
Yes. And I do like the general use of the rock as a strategic thing. Like because the thing is he doesn't have like he has claws, but also before he rips off everything of Ebirah,
Right.
it felt like you can't crack him because, LOL, he is crab. So you can't, he's tough. So what do? How do you break up crab? You break it with a rock
Right.
if you have nothing else.
And you break it at the joints.
Yeah.
So it breaks
So
off the claws eventually. That was
yeah,
probably my favorite bit, was just him finally ripping off his front pincers.
I think Ebita was not impressed.
I mean, it's funny. Anytime Godzilla hits him with his atomic breath, he goes flying backwards. So again, not really a good matchup for the King of Monsters, but also, I mean, I like Ebirah's design. Like, I like him as a concept. I kind of wish there was a little bit more to him, but you know,
yeah, what I enjoyed too is it really felt like Godzilla was at his mercy for a bit in his domain.
see, I guess that is true in here. That makes sense, but like Godzilla is supposed to be good in water too.
But it's
Like,
also his domain.
yeah,
I mean, it's not Godzilla's domain. Godzilla has his feet
yeah,
in both.
Ebirah's island or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. Um, no, he's good in water, but he's not excellent in water. And also, to be fair, this is in '66. Are you quoting stuff from Post?
No, I know it's like more of developing Godzilla as he went along. So like looking back, it's kind of like, well, I mean, it wasn't technically a thing yet, I don't think. So yeah.
Yeah, because your experience with Godzilla, while you've seen some of the classics before us doing these podcasts, your dad showed you a lot of stuff from '80s and '90s. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah. Yeah, it was basically like whatever we would see it on TV, and at the time it was a lot of like later stuff. So yeah, like 80s and 90s.
Yeah. So again, not that you've never seen an older Godzilla film, but you grew up because I mean we're both the same age. We're both 27. You grew up in like a very '80s '90s Godzilla household.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Like
yeah, I can
Godzilla
understand.
a bit more beefed up than he was back in the day.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And I can understand. In a way, it feels like it's a step back. But I do think that, and I think you agree here, the choreography was good, definitely.
Oh yeah.
The suit, I'm not the biggest fan of this Godzilla suit.
Yeah, no. This is definitely one of the ones that I look back and I'm like, ooh, oh, that, because I think I messaged you when finally Godzilla wakes up and he goes out and he roars and he's walking out onto the island. I'm like, ooh, that nap really didn't help your complexion there, Big G, did it?
No, I think, you know what it was for me? I fully understand it's a suit, right? And I love suits. But
Right.
for some reason, the way that suit is made, every time the actor in it moves a certain way, his neck just bends.
Yeah, that
And
and
I
I
feel like,
didn't like the face. It just
yeah,
didn't feel right.
that's fair. I just feel like it's the rest of the suit that, like, I feel like there's some Godzilla suits, and maybe I'm just misremembering, that really blend together when the actor moves.
Yeah.
Where this one felt like anytime he moved, it's like, it's an immediate, like, this is rubber suit being compressed.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I saw that a lot when he's like stomping around, like his ankles would like bend and his feet would like go in a weird direction. It's like, yeah, that's suit all right.
Yeah, I saw it in the shoulder and neck, and I'm like, what is the actor doing in there? And I just feel like it's,
The
you know,
actor is dying of heat stroke in there, that's what.
probably. Well, thankfully, a lot of the stuff, it was all soundstage. You didn't have to, like, go outside or anything
Yeah.
to film that. No, because, like, I remember from like Kamen Rider when they're like in the suits, like just in quarries and shit, and it's like God knows how hot it is, like probably like 80 or 90, and
Yeah.
it's probably like 110 in the suit.
Oh yeah. I mean, depending on what movie you look at too, like plenty of the actors that played Godzilla were, it's on a set, but like with all the lighting and everything,
You're
like
right.
it easily gets up to 100 degrees inside that thing.
You know what? You're still right. Yeah, definitely. So let's see. I want to read off some fun facts. So apparently, the underwater sequences were filmed on an indoor soundstage,
Right.
where Godzilla and Ebirah suits were filmed through the glass of a water-filled aquarium.
Right. Yeah, because it did look like it was just like a film or something that I couldn't discern exactly how they did it, but I'm like, obviously they didn't go underwater and shoot this, so like what little trick did they come up with to do
Yeah,
this?
with some scenes of the Godzilla suit shot separately underwater as well. So like just the Godzilla suit, I guess, no one manning it.
Yeah.
And then Haruo Nakajima, the suit performer for Godzilla, wore a wetsuit under the Godzilla suit for every scene that required him to be in the water, which took a week to complete. The water scenes. Nakajima stated, "I worked overtime until about 8 o'clock every day. Even though I wore a wetsuit under the costume, I got cold. But I never got sick. Because I was so tense during the filming."
Oof.
And and let's see. By the way, what I found interesting was this is one of the first two Godzilla films in which a Pacific island is the primary setting, which again I think was also something that maybe in my brain made me like feel like kind of sigh of relief that we went in a different direction. It's not just on mainland Japan.
Right.
It's like, yeah, we're going to an island resort. No, but we're getting the hell out of here. Which again, like when you have, let me see, I want to count how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movies. Which of course we can also combine us talking about Mothra and Rodan. It feels like we were like in Japan, like just not like a specific city, but just in cities
Right.
a lot.
Yeah.
So it feels nice to be able to like take a breath and just go elsewhere. Speaking of going elsewhere, Mothra. How did you feel about that little scamp showing up in this movie?
I mean, I feel like this it's the first time that I feel like Godzilla enters the fray before anybody else does. Like Mothra is literally asleep for most of the movie.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah, the hilarious part for me was that once, the islanders on Infinite Island finally awaken Mothra with their prayer and dance, all I could hear was just Mothra being like, "All right, will you just shut the fuck up? I'll go."
Oh, I saw that I flipped it. I thought like they're like when they find Godzilla, they're like, "Oh my god, is that Godzilla?" And he's like, "I'm asleep. I'm asleep. Is he asleep? Just let him think I'm asleep." And then finally they just keep on talking and he's like, "All right, fine. I'm awake." Grrr.
Yeah, well then they, put a lightning rod and a wire onto him. Which, it's funny, usually the idea is Godzilla doesn't like lightning or electricity. So, like, using that as an alarm clock, I felt was just like, he wakes up, he's like, all right, I'm awake, and I'm already pissed.
I mean, that's like pouring cold water on your face.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, I'm talking about like a bucket. Like, if you just pour it right onto your face, it's like, I'm awake, but I'm pissed.
Right, yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of what that was. So my thing is that like I feel like that was Godzilla, and then Mothra was just like, "Oh man, what's going on, everybody? Holy shit!" Yes, we've been telling you, Mothra. They have been kidnapped. Fuck. Okay. I'm outie. BRB.
All right, I'm gonna go fix this. It's gonna be fine. Like a panicking mom, like, all right, don't worry. I'm gonna go get them back. They'll be fine. It's fine.
I am not here to fight you, my old friend. They used lightning. I'm fighting everybody.
Yeah, when Mothra lands, Godzilla's like, oh, you want a piece of me too? No, I'm not here to fight you. Godzilla, shut up and listen to me, will you? No, fuck you. You get down here and fight me.
I'm saving these people. Oh, humans. All right, whatever. Dope.
Oh, humans? Nah, fuck them.
What I was laughing at was when they flew away, I thought it was just like, and also my old friend, remember, there is a bomb on this island. Yeah, sure, whatever, man. Wait, did he say bomb?
Shit! And he jumps into the ocean.
Well, that's what's funny. I thought he wasn't going to jump.
Yeah, I thought he was just gonna like, and Godzilla didn't make it out. He went down with the island. It's like he never even meant us any harm, even though he almost ate us when, we stood still. And it was like, I felt like we were in Jurassic Park for a second. He won't eat you if you don't move.
Yeah, I also, is it just me? I don't know what it, because you and I have different Blu-ray cases. You have the special edition set. I have the ones that were like $1. They were like really cheap. I was so hyped. They were by, I think, Kraken Entertainment or Kraken Publishing. I'm pretty sure it's a subsidiary of Section 23. Either way, what I found interesting was I could swear that on the cover I did not see Mothra. Did you see Mothra anywhere near your promotional artwork on it?
Well, I don't. Not on the disc anyway. I'll have to see if there's like artwork for the titles or anything like that, because I've been using the I got that sweet what is it, Criterion, I think, the collection.
Yeah, the Criterion collection that had every single Godzilla film. We've talked about it before, Tristan.
Yeah, well, I guess what I'm going to reference it every time we do one now.
I'm sorry. Mothra is on the Blu-ray, so I should have noted that he was there. For some reason, there's just so much going on in that shot, because it's the Japanese cover. There's so much going on. I don't know, I just didn't pay attention, because Mothra being in the movie was a surprise to me, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
he's literally right there on the cover.
You know who else was a surprise in this movie?
Who?
A condor.
Why was that a surprise?
Because it was the only time it ever appeared, and I believe that was the only time it ever appeared, and it never saw the light of day again.
So then why did that surprise you? Just because you did not see something like that coming?
Yeah, because he literally just comes out of nowhere and attacks Godzilla. It's like, is there just giant animals? Because that was the thing. Like, I feel like there was a lot of cool ideas in this movie. They just weren't tied together in any way whatsoever. So like, if this military group was like experimenting on animals and making them, gigantic with atomic radiation or something like that, Ebirah would have made sense.
Yes. So several things. First thing, I thought it was because you knew of Condor separately. I also feel that it was completely out of left field, and at first I thought it was just their way of trying to meet some kind of action quota.
Yeah.
Even though they could have saved money by not using Condor and creating that suit, I was thinking, well, maybe... What was that?
Cool. Just to barbecue it, ultimately, but that worked kind of cool.
But I'm looking at the development page here on the old Wikipedia. And it seems as if this film was originally written to be King Kong versus Ebirah. Does Condor make more sense? Because when it's King Kong, he's just fighting, at least in Japan, he's just fighting random ass monsters.
Well, yeah, animal monsters, not atomic horrors.
Exactly, either in the sea or what was that?
Or space aliens.
Yes, exactly. That seems like that's just Kong in Japan for you. So, the film's working title was Operation Robinson Crusoe: King Kong versus Ebirah.
Huh.
Yes. So it says the film here was rejected by Rankin/Base Productions before being accepted by Toho, after which King Kong's role in the film was replaced with
Godzilla.
That's interesting. Huh.
Yeah. I wonder if that's in one of the interviews for it. Because, I didn't actually get a chance to look at... Because that's the whole thing with the, collection. Like, they have a lot of interviews and, extras and stuff like that.
Yeah, mine has an original trailer, which is nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I showed it to you when you came over once.
Yeah.
We didn't get to watch the movie, but we saw the trailers. I forgot what else. We were probably just filming and we were, mega tired at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So Arikawa, by the way, Saramasa Arikawa, who is he directed special effects under the supervision of Tsuburaya. So because basically, even though Eiji Tsuburaya was given directorial credits for special effects, it's actually Saramasa Arikawa. Now, I don't know if that's changed at all in any of the newer editions or anything in the credits, but this is what I'm seeing here. And Arikawa cited the film as a frustrating experience, stating that there were major limitations on the budget from the studio. Toho couldn't have made too many demands about the budget if Mr. Tsuburaya had been in charge. The studio knew I was doing TV work then, so they must have figured I could produce the movie cheaply.
Oof.
Well, I mean, no, as in, like, it's on a budget. You work with the TV budget.
Right.
So, yeah, not cheaply as a negative. Like, you work on a TV budget, so you can make this, can't you? And it's like, I mean, you're trying to make a movie, though.
Right.
I didn't notice that the effects were cheap in any way.
Yeah, no.
So I guess they must have, hid that I mean, they're very talented. I didn't notice that anything was off in any way. Again, like, I have issues with Godzilla's suit, but I don't consider that an issue of... Because it's the same suit I could swear that they used in the last movie. Invasion of the Astro Monster.
Yeah, you're right. It probably was.
What I was interested in, though, is the fact that at first when I saw them praying to Mothra, and they even stated outright, hey, listen, we're from the same island that Mothra is from. Yeah. I thought they were just gonna not use Mothra, but show that footage, and then take that footage and use it for 8 other movies.
Yeah, right.
Having Mothra actually appear, I was like, damn, I thought... Because I was under the impression that they didn't have a high budget just because it's Toku.
Right.
I didn't think that they were actually going to use Mothra. I'm like, if you have that low of a budget, why are you even using Mothra? Well, then they can't escape off the island. I'm sure you could have telekinesis some bullshit.
Yeah, right? They could have stolen a boat.
Yes.
Another boat.
What's funny is maybe they're like, no, we already have the Mothra suit. A boat with people is more expensive than Mothra suit.
Possibly.
Especially, this is the first time I've seen them use green screen or blue screen so effectively. It was clearly used, but I think it was used compared to King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah, compared to the last time when we saw it.
Well, I mean, it was used in between then, but that was 4 years prior.
Right.
1962. It was bad. And then here, you could still tell that Mothra was slowed down. Right. Also, I'm wondering how they slowed him down with the, because nowadays when I think of, they slowed down the footage, I'm like, yeah, you pop it in the old video editor. But I'm wondering what they did. Like, did they just slow the reel down when playing it?
Yeah, I don't know, actually.
Because when Mothra came in, when he flew in the first time, he kind of slowed down on his entry, like when he was like, or when she was about to land.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering what they did to make that work. But either way, it was clearly blue screen. And then when Mothra flew away, it was also blue screen. And then they were just showing, like, like when you see Mothra closer, it's just the strings and everything. But
right.
No, but I think the reason why I love Mothra's inclusion, Tristan, tell me what you think about this, is that it's something that Marvel films have now started to do, and something that comic books, at least in the US, have done for years and years and years now. And it's the idea that, look, you can have it be, let's say, Godzilla's movie, or if it was flipped, Mothra's movie, but there's no reason why, because the characters exist in the same universe, and it's been confirmed over and over and over again, why they can't cameo, or at least have some characters crossing over in a very small way. Because I think this was very small. This was not another, Ghidorah situation.
Right.
It was just something small that it was like, hey, listen, they were kidnapping people from my island, so Godzilla, I gotta step in, but it's your fight. I really don't want to fight with you guys right now. This isn't an earth-shattering fight like Ghidorah. This is, you this fighting.
Earth is in danger. This is just, look, I just need to pick up my kids.
Basically.
Destroy this island.
I gotta pick up my kids from soccer practice. We were tortured. Yeah, I don't even play soccer. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Mothra just flies away. Also 2 new people playing the twins as ordered, as always.
Right.
No, seriously, they were 2 completely different people.
Yeah.
Although, wait, I'm sorry. Let me make sure I'm I want to make sure. Yes, they are two. Well, no, no. What I mean is compared to the last time.
Yeah, right.
There, it seems like every time they have someone, two either twins or two performers, brand new.
Right. Yeah.
What I'm can. Oh yes. So by the way, they went by Pear Bambi, and that's the stage name of the two of them. They're Japanese singers, Yuko and Yoko Okada, which I find super funny simply due to the fact that it seems like every time they can't just get an actress who wants to just sing for a second. They
Yeah.
have to get performers to be like, oh yeah, then we can promote our music careers or something. It's just kind of
Right.
interesting
Yeah.
every time. I'm not saying it's bad or anything. It's just like
No.
one of those
Yeah.
things where you would think with them trying to save the budget, they're like, just
Right.
get two
Yeah.
extras who can say
Yeah.
the tune.
Right. Just get someone who can hum a few bars. It doesn't matter.
But no, every time it seems like they get singers who are, this is like their debut in acting. They've only been in this one movie from the looks of it.
Huh. Yeah.
How interesting is that?
Yeah. I thought they did fine with it.
Yeah. So yeah, what do you think of the red bamboo? That's what they were referred to as.
Yeah. The red bamboo.
So something about calling them the red bamboo, I was under the impression, like I was like, are you guys trying to go for like anti-Chinese sentiment? Since there's always been, with the governments at least, a bit of a rivalry
Yeah, that's fair.
between both. No, I'm genuinely confused because like
Yeah.
their names are like Captain Ryu, and I'm like, okay, no, that's like Ryuui, and I'm like, that doesn't sound like they're trying to go for a specific like Chinese style name, but like calling them the red bamboo as like an opposing, like I feel like it was kind of like one of those nods and winks or something, as if like in the same way that like if it was the 80s in the US we would be taking jabs at Russia because of the Cold War.
Right. Yeah.
But interesting fun fact, red bamboo Captain Ryui, I don't know how to pronounce that. He was played, which, yes, okay, I'm right. I'm pretty sure he was the one with the eye patch.
Yeah.
Okay. He was played by, speaking of eye patches, the scientist from Gojira. He literally just switched the eye patches to a different side of his face. Tristan, I'm so mad.
My God.
No, he literally did.
That's,
It's just a stylized eye patch on the other side of his face.
oh my God.
Oh my god, how dare he? He had been, and he has been in multiple. I mean, at this point, he had been in the first Godzilla movie, Rodan. I'm not even gonna name his characters. Rodan, Mothra, King Kong versus Godzilla, Ghidorah the three-headed monster. Oh shit, he's in Ultra Q. I have that now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh shit, he was in Ultraman. Who the fuck was he in Ultraman? Hold on a second, Tristan. This precedes everything else we were talking about.
Okay.
Dr. Evil. Wow, he is old in Ultraman. Sorry, it's like a 10-year gap, so like he plays like an older gentleman. Dr. Iwamoto. Wow, I kind of vaguely remember. I haven't seen all of Ultraman yet, the original. He is an Ultra 7 too. Oh no. Okay, so this is why it's really funny. As I don't remember if I mentioned this. Yeah, I said this to you off air, Tristan.
Yeah.
So Eiji Tsuburaya, co-creator of Godzilla, went on to form his own corporation, the Tsuburaya Corp, or I think at the time they were like Tsuburaya Entertainment Video or something. So, in forming that, yes, they have a working relationship with Toho a lot of the time, but usually it's, separate. Godzilla's his own thing, Ultraman's his own thing. So having an actor start with Tsuburaya in Godzilla and then transition over to Ultraman towards just later on in his life, that's so funny.
Yeah.
He was also in Dai Tetsujin 1-7, which I've briefly seen. I don't know his character at all, but his name is Captain Gomez. Alrighty then. No, this is so interesting, dude. And he's also in Son of Godzilla. Coming up next, whenever the fuck.
Oh boy.
You didn't like that one?
I haven't.
Oh, did you never see it?
I think I've seen pieces of it,
Oh,
and
okay.
oh boy.
That one's gonna be grand. Oh, I remember him in Ultra 7. That's interesting. Wow, this is insane. Sorry, just I obviously it's all Toku, but like the two crossing with an actor who I'd never, and I think we've even in some of the other films that we looked at, we actually looked at him and said, "Oh, hey, he was from this movie," but it never we never scrolled or I never scrolled down enough to find him in Ultraman.
Right.
Anywho, so yeah, so you agree Godzilla is definitely they're kidifying him. Do you think that's a bad thing necessarily though? Like would kid version of Tristan enjoyed this version of
Yeah.
Godzilla?
Yeah, I don't think kid me would have been as picky about it as, adult me is now. I mean, not. I'm not saying this was a bad movie or anything like that.
Because of that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, no, I would have. I basically any Godzilla was good Godzilla. I mean, hey, when I was a kid, I liked the '98 version too, and then I started to realize as I got older, oh no.
It's so interesting. Some people they just apologize and they move on. You continuously bring it up.
Yeah, well,
No, as a kid I felt mixed. I think I was like, "Huh, okay." Because I think it was just like I didn't understand like the romantic subplot and whatnot. I just wanted to see
yeah,
Godzilla.
yeah, that's fair. Me too. Um, but yeah, I think it was for me. It was like the first time I was seeing Godzilla on the big screen, and then I saw Godzilla 2000, and I was like, "This is what I have been missing my entire life. I am only about 7,
Yeah,
but
you were like,
I have needed this for as long as I have lived."
I know, yeah. Um,
Uh,
so what I find interesting, side note, Red Bamboo, Captain Naval Officer Hideo Amamoto. He has played random other characters in Godzilla. Like he was in Ghidorah. He was also in was there anything before Ghidorah? Let's find out. I actually don't believe he was. Okay, so he was someone in Ghidorah, which I say someone because Princess Salno's aide. I don't know who that is. What I find hilarious though, and I was trying to hold my laughter back as you were talking, and I apologize, but I was trying really hard. In
okay.
King Kong Escapes, 1967. Let's
King
note the date.
Kong escapes.
No, 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 that's not the name.
Oh,
1967. That's what's relevant here. I mean, that is the name of the movie, but like that's not the ha-has.
right. Oh, okay.
So 1967. You got that?
Yeah,
Write that one down.
1967.
He
Okay.
played Doctor Who.
Oh,
That's
oh,
only a year after the actual Doctor Who, which means that is a complete just just circumstantial. That's like not that's a coincidental.
right. Yeah,
There's no tie because like Doctor Who became very popular in Japan, but it's only a year after it was created. I don't even believe it was exported to Japan either officially or even like it could have been tape traded
yeah,
within the time. Because if it came out in '67, they probably filmed it like maybe a year earlier in '66.
yeah.
How fucking hilariously odd is that?
That is
Because it's a Japanese production, King Kong Escapes,
right.
where just looking at the sorry looking at the poster, King Kong is literally he has a dinosaur in a headlock, and it looks like a Mecha Kong is trying to like shoot eye beams at the both of them.
That that sounds about right.
I'm sorry, it just makes me laugh so hard. I'm like, he played Doctor Who in this. Um, oh, apparently the film is a loose adaptation of the Saturday morning cartoon series, The King Kong Show.
Huh.
Interesting. Anyway, but either way, I know, by the way, speaking of tokusatsu, like Kamen Rider and whatnot, here's by the way, he also ended up playing a character in All Monsters Attack. This is Hideo Amamoto, not King Kong. But moving on to Kamen Rider, he actually played Ika Devil, who is Dr. Shinigami, which I know who that is, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Dr. Shinigami.
Dude, no, he's like a head. He's like huge in Die Shocker.
Right.
Dr. Shinigami. He's like one of the generals in Die Shocker, like the big evil organization in early Kamen Rider in 71. And then he was also in Return of Ultraman. He kept on playing Shinigami, which is great too. Every time they did like another iteration of Kamen Rider in the 70s and they had to include him, he came back.
Nice.
Also in Henshin Ninja Arashi, which is another one of those like this is a manga, but it became live action Japanese, tokusatsu, very much like Kamen Rider, which started off as a manga. He literally played Satan. I swear to God, it's just Satan. And I'm like, fuck yes, okay. He was in other Ultraman as well. He was in Go Ranger versus Jack. That's it. Oh, he was in Message from Space, which is looked at as Japanese Star Wars.
Huh.
That actually just got a release on Blu-ray as well. Full release, no like edited English dub. It's
What?
just full Japanese for once.
Oh, wow.
I don't believe that's ever happened, or it happened once and is like mega out of print. So that's nice.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, oh wow, he was also in Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. And then, that's so interesting. All right, anyway, so moving back to the film itself, yeah, so you didn't hate the film because Godzilla was kidified. It's just that it is what it is, and
Yeah.
it makes it compared to some of the other ones we've been podcasting on. Does it bring it down in the pecking order for you, or?
Yeah, a little bit. Not by a lot, but a bit, yeah.
So is it Godzilla mixed in with the insanity of the rest of the plot, or is it just a Godzilla centric issue?
No, it's definitely the insanity. Like, as much as I love the insanity of this movie, it also like takes me out of it a bit. I think the thing that took me out the most was like the Surf's Up like 60s soundtrack music that they had with it,
I loved it.
which normally I would love that kind of thing.
I loved it because it felt like
That's so not really what I would have gone with.
yeah. So you're saying you would not have gone with that, and I hear you. I interrupted you, but I still hear you. What I feel is if Tristan, here's the thing, I love it, and the reason why I love it is it feels like Godzilla is actually changing with the times
That's fair.
because this came out in '66.
Right. Yeah. No, it was very appropriate of the times. I just felt it wasn't appropriate for like the tone of Godzilla destroying things.
I understand, but I don't like it. That's kind of how it comes off.
I don't like it.
So yeah, I hear you. I don't get me wrong. It was off. It was odd, but I was like, damn it. But I like this though.
Like it felt like it came out of nowhere, just like the Condor did.
That's fair. But yeah, I think Condor makes a lot more sense now if it was King Kong.
Yes. Oh, that makes so much more sense.
Even though it's funny though, even though it would still be a random condor, but I'm like, yeah, no, it's King Kong. He's fought random octopus before.
Yeah, right. He fights random giant animal monsters all the time. Whereas, I mean, Godzilla can do that too, but it's usually some kind of space alien.
It's interesting though because this was what's weird though is this was already accepted by Toho, so it was so early on in the process that if they had the condor in the script, they still said, "Excellent, let's make that motherfucking condor." So that's what's odd to me.
I think it was just another, another monster for Godzilla to fight, and they're like, yeah, sure, why not?
It's one of those that doesn't make sense because look, it's one of those things where I wonder if it was like, can we do Rodan? But why Rodan? Damn it, you're right. Let's have it be Condor.
Yeah, well, that's why at first I thought, oh, when I saw Mothra, I'm like, oh, all right, Mothra is going to come into the mix, and Mothra is going to fight the Condor, and Godzilla will fight Ebirah.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
But Mothra didn't join the fray until, everyone needed a lift.
Yeah, and that's money too, I think, is what it is. Like, because they'd have to have him flying next to Condor. It's probably much easier to have one thing flying at a time.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, what I found interesting was back to something that I said much earlier. It's interesting how it very much is in tandem, not mimicking because this came out first, especially when looking at the new MCU. But I enjoy the idea of characters dropping in when they need to, but not necessarily having it be a world or life-changing event.
Right.
They all exist. Like looking at something like Marvel, not just the comics, but also looking at the MCU as well. So many heroes exist within New York. It's even if you take them out of New York, the way some of the movies standalones build up some crazy shit. I look at something like Iron Man 3 and I'm like, what the fuck were the rest of the Avengers doing?
Yeah.
And like they'll have some explanations, and they'll also try to tell you like, hey, look, this didn't take like a month. Sometimes stuff that we see in a movie only took like a day or 2 or 3 days. And again, like the Avengers are also very busy. Sometimes they're off world, etc., etc. Sometimes they're dead. Sometimes they're not. It really depends on the day.
Right.
Um,
Oh,
but
I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. Apparently, it does have another. Um, he does have
credit,
another appearance. Although
another credit. It's a SAG actor, Tristan the Condor.
he's, he's the Condor in Ebirah, but in All Monsters Attack, he's called Giant, like the Giant Eagle.
Okay, so wait, All Monsters Attack
He also
was.
killed just as quickly.
Then it must just be a running joke.
Yeah, it might be. Because I loved it. Like, the Condor flies in and just starts packing Godzilla's face and his eyes, and, like, they're jittering the camera around and making it, like, really intense.
Mm.
And, like, he gets away, and Godzilla's flailing his arms, and then he just barbecues him with an atomic blast.
So, yeah, so All Monsters Attack, you're referring to the one that came out in 1969. Yes?
Yeah, I think All Monsters Attack is the next one after Son of Godzilla.
No, that's Destroy All Monsters.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I get those two mixed up.
I mean, dude, there is Destroy All Monsters Attack, and then, right? And I know it's a while, but almost 40 years later, there's Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, giant monsters all out attack. And it's like, okay, guys,
Got it.
you're very excited.
They're even bigger and better, and they're all attacking at the same time.
I understand you're very excited. Tone it down a sec. You know what's really funny? I'm wondering if the Condor has its own movie. I'm like looking through related films.
I
Do I?
are unknown, so
Okay, because I was gonna say, do I doubt it? Highly, yes, but crazy shit has happened.
yeah, crazier shit has happened.
So that's interesting. Yeah. So Ebirah looks like it also, I'm assuming, just kind of plopped into this film just to be a new monster for Godzilla to destroy.
The people, well, it's funny. I guess some of the islanders from Infant Island, they were like, they knew who Ebirah was. It was like, I guess it was just like sometimes we don't go out at sea during storms or like in this certain area because Ebirah, that's its domain, so we don't go near it. Maybe that was the deal, but at least that's what it kind of felt like to me, but nothing was ever explicitly said.
Yeah, and looking at Ebirah, when it comes to films, I don't want to spoil which ones, but it's not really. It has appeared, but not in excess.
Right.
And when it comes to video game appearances, it actually appeared in Godzilla King of the Monsters for the Game Boy, 93. Godzilla Trading Battles, which I believe was like a trading card thing for the PS1. We never got it in 98. Godzilla Save the Earth. Save the Earth. I have to get a drink of water. Save the Earth. Xbox and PS2, 04. And then Godzilla Unleashed Double Smash. I am going to use that. Nintendo DS, 2007. And then also a game called Godzilla Defense Force, which came out in 2019. Did we ever get that?
I don't know.
All right. Also, he has been in literature, Tristan.
Oh.
He has been in the Godzilla The Half-Century War comic, Godzilla Rulers of Earth comic, and Godzilla Cataclysm. All comics that started, by the way, 2012, 2013, 2014. So,
okay.
They were trying.
Yeah.
Which I love.
No, like, that's the thing. Like, I do like Ebirah as a concept. Just wish he had a little bit more of, like, why is it here?
Oh, Defense Force is an app game, but it says it's available on iOS. Could I get it on Oh, I can get it on Android. Okay, so it's available on Android. Oh, it's a tower defense RPG game.
Right.
So then, are you trying to? I think
Oh,
you're. Are you trying to defend yourself against Godzilla, or are you destroying?
I don't know, but either way, I kind of wanna
Well, I
test.
mean, you have a phone. Godzilla Defense Force is a standalone base management game with Toho's official IP. Defend famous cities from around the globe against gigantic beasts.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I would rather have it coordinate the attacks of the monsters and
Well,
destroy.
wait, hold on. Let's keep going.
Oh,
Monsters from across the Godzilla series are on the move, and it's up to you to recruit these powerful beasts to save the world. The
oh,
game features Godzillas and other monsters from 29 different movies. From the
sweet.
original film in 1954 to the present day, join forces with various allies like Mechagodzilla and Kaiju. Defeated monsters can be collected as monster cards. Monster Cardo! Yamete! Yee!
Damn it.
Harase!
Oh,
Which can then be used as skills or buffs in various stages. Defeat and collect monster cards to unlock the Codex, which contains detailed descriptions of all the monsters alongside images from their respective movies. So let me tell you why, just briefly, why I'm actually kind of excited about this. It looks like it's one of those games that you only go up against a computer. Because when you do, even though I'm sure there's ways to buy different monsters, microtransactions and whatnot, I don't feel like pushed into buying anything if I'm just going up against a computer. Because what happens is when you go up against real people and you have to buy things, people just buy the coolest shit and it ruins your experience.
yeah.
So I'm kind of interested in that. Maybe I'll play that later. And by the way, I love just like there's gonna be someone listening in that's like, "Wow, really? Just putting a mobile ad in the middle of this? Look at our numbers.
Yeah.
Look at our numbers. That is not an ad." Although it's funny, one day we're gonna be much bigger than this, and someone's gonna be like, "Yeah, I see your numbers. It's clearly an ad," and it's like, no, no, no. This was done. This was done when we were much smaller.
Yeah.
But anywho,
Oh, that's also another bit for Ebirah.
wow.
It never seems like he's actually killed. He always just kind of runs away at the end.
Oh yeah, no. He's just like, "How dare you?"
You ripped off my claws. I'm going to brood in an ocean trench somewhere.
Well, it's probably one of those things where they're like, let's not destroy the suit too much because we'd love to use him one day. But then they were like, but it costs way too fucking much. And also, Ebirah is a water, like, you can't, you have to only have it be near islands, and like, it would just be too much. So we're probably like, you know what? Never mind.
Right, yeah.
I feel like that's kind of why. Because, like, if Ebirah's not, like, it seems like Ebirah has to be in the water, not that Ebirah wants to be in the water. Well, no, because Godzilla's like, yeah, I can take a dip, but he's not like, I need this to survive.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, either way, though, it's not, I don't think it's the worst Godzilla movie that we've ever taken a look at,
Oh, yeah, no.
but it's definitely not the best.
Let's see, because we've done, of classic, we've done
Mm-hmm.
the original 1954,
Right.
Godzilla Raids Again. We've got,
We have King Kong versus Godzilla, we have Mothra versus Godzilla, we have Ghidorah the three-headed monster, and we have Invasion of the Astro Monster.
right.
Well,
And
you know what?
Kong versus Godzilla is definitely the worst on that list. So, yes, you're
You
correct.
believe so?
I believe so, yes.
I believe some of its effects were, but it's been a while. I gotta watch that one again.
I think
Huh.
that one was probably the weakest.
Interesting. So then you must be very hyped for the Godzilla vs. King Kong 2020.
We've been over this match. I mean, I am looking forward to it, yes, but again, I really hope it doesn't turn into, yeah, they're going to fight each other. We really need a common enemy for these guys.
I mean, there. I don't want to spoil, but we kind of been teased with the common enemy. Would be, yes,
We kind of know who that common enemy is going to be.
exactly. So
I really hope it is.
yeah, it's gotta be. So either way, is there anything else you want to say about this film before we wrap this one up?
Yeah, I guess it was like, it's not bad. It was weird. It was a weird little. It felt like a weird little side trip,
Yeah, and I
family vacation you take, where you're just at a resort and it's just like, yeah, you're having fun, but like this place is like it was like a knockoff one though, so like everything's kind of familiar, but not really. But
what was this movie doing? It was released December 17th. This is the perfect summer movie.
right? Uh,
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I want to mention. So, Ebirah Horror of the Deep is the, uh, is well, interesting. It's not the original Japanese name. It seems like the original Japanese name is Godzilla Ebirah Mothra Big Duel in the South Seas.
Big duel in the South Seas.
I mean, that sounds very much like an anime
No, that's
episode
on
name.
point.
Well,
Yeah,
no, because the reason why I was thrown off is because some movies, like, they tell you straight up, like, in, when you're doing research, hey, this is what the Japanese name is, this is what the US name is, but this one makes no reference to the fact that Ebirah Horror of the Deep is the US name from the looks of it.
yeah. No, yeah, because the U.S. was
Oh,
Liver
God's.
Sea Monster.
Oh, okay. So then I went. Oh, so then I'm mistaken. Ebirah Horror of the Deep has to be like the official Toho name.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's.
Well, because what happens is you'll have three names for
Yeah,
Toku. Sometimes you'll have its Japanese officially, not official, your Japanese name, which you're like, okay, this translates to this. Then you have the official name, which sometimes does not even compare to the Japanese name. You're like, these are two different things.
right.
And then the third name, if it ever gets adapted into the US, which is something completely different.
Right.
So it could be like, you could translate something to Super Fighters,
Yeah.
and then the official name will be, the Super Fighting Squad. And you're like, really? That's the official name? And then, like, the US version will be like Fart Force. And you're like, what the fuck's this? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What? What in the flippity fuck is this? It's just very odd.
Oh god.
So here's a good one. I got a good one for you.
I think that's how I felt as a kid when I realized like Monster Zero and Ghidorah were the same thing. And I'm
Oh
like,
my god.
fuck, what?
So here's a good one, right? Kyoju Tokuso Just Beyond,
Okay.
which translates to Mega Beast Investigator Just Beyond. It's a metal hero, so literally it makes sense. He's investigating these mega beasts. They're like these huge monsters he has to fight.
Okay.
Mega Beast Investigator Just Beyond. It is known officially, like this is what Toei was like. No, it should be this if it's ever brought over to the U.S. officially. Like not like Power Ranger wise. Like if we are distributing this,
Right.
it is going to be Space Wolf Just Beyond. And I'm like, what the fuck? And also for distribution purposes, Toei refers to, instead of as Just Beyond, they also refer to it as Jaspion. And I'm like, what? Okay. So they'll just choose names, and it's like, alrighty then. Here's a good one. Tokuso Robo Jan Person, right? I don't know why there's no like translation for it, because I know like Tokuso should be police or something like that. Either way, Toei's name for its international distribution. So like if you were a company in the 90s, this came out in 93, and they gave you a pamphlet, you wanted to license their stuff, and they gave you a pamphlet with their stuff in it in English, Jan Person would be Jum Person, like Jump Urson.
Right. Oh jeez.
And it's just like, why? These names are so odd. Why do they go with Space Wolf or Jaspion?
Yeah.
Gibbon. There's some of these that are really odd, and I love them so much. Anyway, so anything else you want to say? Oh, I got one. Sorry, I'm so sorry. This was the one I was looking for. I knew I was looking for one that was like the piece de la resistance. Sekai Ninja Senjuraya, which the opening to that show is just magnifique. Love it. No, seriously, I'll send it to you, and you're gonna be bumping. So,
Okay.
Sekai Ninja Senjuraya translates to World Ninja War Jiraiya.
Okay.
That's the official. That's not the official, but that's like what it can translate to.
Yeah. Right.
The English title given by Toei's international sales department is Ninja Olympiad. A reference to the Seoul Olympics and the Calgary Olympics that were held at the time the series was airing. What?
What?
What in the flippity flop? Oompst? What? Explain.
I feel like I hear that name, and all I want to play is the clip where Ebirah just like flies through the air and falls backwards into the ocean screaming.
And I love that the opening is like Ninja Senja Raya. So I'm just here, Ninja Olympiad. Pump it up. And instead of like the, it's like, wait, what? What?
Right.
What? I have to send you the opening when we're done with this. It's really good. But that was confusing as hell.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, so official names can change and whatnot. So yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, in the US, you were correct. It was Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. So if you have this on VHS somewhere, it will say
Yeah.
Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, not anything else.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, not Ebirah Horror of the Deep, and not Godzilla Ebirah Mothra. Big duel in the South Seas. But either way, though, when it comes to Godzilla vs. Sea Monster or Ebirah, while Mothra is on the cover of both, I believe. Uh, actually, this is odd. On the Godzilla vs. Sea Monster, you can see Godzilla, you can see Ebirah. I guess that's Mothra. It's the way the Photoshop is. It hurts my eyes. It doesn't look like Mothra. It looks like a partial condor.
Oh. Huh.
Well, no, it's clearly Mothra. Like, but you immediately with all the greens and everything, I had to like blink a bit. Either way, though, I was gonna say that I'm happy that Godzilla vs. Sea Monster did not spoil Mothra being in there, but it does. She's right on the cover.
Right.
Anyway, no, because I do think that if you don't know Mothra's going to be in the movie, it's a nice surprise.
Yeah.
It's a nice little thing. You're like, oh, it's so sweet. Look at him. Look at this little guy. And anyway, so I think we're good.
Yeah. I
Very
can't
early one.
anything else like pressing that I'd want to bring up.
Yeah. Again, there was good, there was bad, there was convenient.
It just kind of feels like this one exists.
But I really do respect the differences compared to some of the, like, it's a good palate cleanser compared to every other one that's like, we're in not Tokyo, but we're in a big city, we're in a big city, we're in a big city.
Right.
I
Yeah.
preferred them going elsewhere. It's just everything else surrounding it that's kind of odd. Like you were saying that the military's incompetence confused you.
Yeah, it just nothing. The fact that the Islanders got away with making, the not the
Yes.
yellow liquid from the fruits. They're like, yeah, they use
It,
the leaves.
it's a smart idea, but how did they get away with it? You are correct.
Right? How is there not a guard that immediately heard that outside? Like, I know shit was going down, but like someone had to have been there to hear that. A camera, something.
I mean, they even mentioned the fact they have secret cameras and microphones around the island.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, I feel like the elements of the movie could have been connected better.
That's why I said early on, I was like, "Oh, I'm about this." Right? It was like, this is interesting, this is different, and it made, quote unquote, made sense. Then as it goes on, it's not even crazy amounts of thinking where you have to go, "Ah, damn it."
Yeah, I felt like it kind of went on a little bit longer than it probably should have. I felt like
And it
that.
was only an hour 20.
Yeah, but I feel like that first fight, like when Godzilla and Ebirah first started to tussle, I thought, all right, here we are. Here's the big monster fight. Like after this, that's it. And then he gets away, and then they fight again later.
Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, that's every anime kaiju movie, but it was a longer fight initially. I'll say that much. I'm not
Yeah,
saying it wasn't a good fight and I didn't enjoy it, but it was long to where when they have to break off, you're right, that was a little bit odd.
yeah,
But either way, I want to thank you all so much for listening in. As always, if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, please remember to like and subscribe. And if you are listening to this through our Podbean, thank you so much. Our Podbean, by the way, being Those Guys Radio. Thank you so much for listening in, helping us be us. And also, if you're listening to this somehow through our Patreon, maybe you've given to our Patreon and you got this in a little download folder, depending on what tier you give to. Patreon.com/TG Productions. By the way, thank you so much. Also, you might be listening to this through our Toku Dragon account. I will be posting some of these older archived stuff. By the time this is out on there, it would be an older archived thing. Sporadically through our Toku Dragon channel. So that's the channel where I talk about tokusatsu and, of course, stuff related to Dragon Ball Z. So I say, of course, as if, I mean, longtime fans know how interested in Dragon Ball Z we are. But yeah, so love you all. Take care, and tune in next time for another episode of Friday Night Movies, where we may or may not be talking about the next Godzilla film, which is Son of Godzilla.
All right, getting the basket. Mothra's gonna fly us home to the sunset. Now,
Goodbye, everybody.
goodbye.